morning, beautiful people. My apologies. My apologies. Oh, but I just wanted to post this video because like I explained earlier, today has not been a good day for me. So since I am on mine, I might as well just do this little short video. And this is about self-love, self-motivation. I'm trying to figure out. I'm always trying to figure out what I'm saying. That I understand. I don't understand women that either walk around in pajamas, their slippers in the airport, um, walking around half dressed. No, I'm not a judge. No, I'm not God. But just because they make it in your size does not mean for you to wear it. I'm a chunky girl myself, and just certain stuff that I would not wear. And I was just thinking about, where is the self love with my sisters? And I mean sisters of all races. Why do we think that what we wear dictates to who we are? What is wrong with us learning how to love ourselves first before we try loving other people? And I say that because we as women give up a lot when we date. And sometimes we receive the same in return, and sometimes we don't. So, my thought is, if you're in an abusive relationship, a toxic relationship, or a relationship that you really don't want to have any parts of, I would advise you to leave. Because I take all of that as a self love issue. Because if you are allowing somebody to beat you down, break you down, to just destroy your inner peace, then it's not always about them because you see who they are, but you need to find out who you are because we all deserve what's best for us. We all deserve to be loved unconditionally, even though some love is conditionally, but we have to find that mate that our souls connect to. I'm not talking about trauma bonding because that relationship will never work. But you have to have a soul tie with a person in order for your relationship to really work very well. Because a lot of people go into relationships when they're already broken themselves. So, what they need to do is from the last relationship they exited out of, they need to do some self care to make sure that they are emotionally and spiritually ready to step into a new relationship. I believe some people should take at least 3 months off after they've gotten out of a bad situation. If it was a violent situation, I think you should take more like a year. That's just my personal thought. Because if it was an abusive relationship, that means that there's a lot of baggage that you have to deal with and that you need to drop off at the nearest dumpster to get rid of. But again, you have to have that self love and put in that hard work and remind yourself that you are worthy of the best and that you should let nobody, I mean nobody, steal your joy. We have to be motivated as a people, as humans, to do what's best for the greater good. Everything should not be just about self, but you do have to put yourself first in order to be able to help anyone else, to love anyone else, to nurture anyone else. You have to make sure you nurture yourself if you did not receive that when you were young, because a lot of us didn't. Some did, a lot did, but some of us didn't. And some people don't understand. You have to make sure that you take the time out to work on self. Motivate yourself. You have to be your biggest motivator. Because if you're not, then somebody that has done something for you or helped motivate you and you no longer get along, they will say, oh, I made that person. I helped that person do this. I helped that person do that. Try to make sure that you take the time to fix your own ish before you walk or step into a new relationship. If you have trust issues, then take some time to work on those. Because a lot of us has trust issues, but a lot of us don't deal with them. So if you know that you have these trust issues, then you make sure that you take the time to work on them. Because it's hard to trust people once you've been hurt so much. But again, you have to be your own self motivator. You have to get yourself ready for what's to come in your life. If you're a very positive person, just make sure you're, again, taking that time to make sure your spirit is right, your mind, mental is right, and you know that you're going to allow yourself to open up to another person and allow them to get to know you truly. Also, people always say, oh, shouldn't have sex on first date. Maybe you shouldn't. But sometimes it may work. I've met a lot of couples that have slept together on the first night and they've been together for years or been married for years. But you have to step your foot in the right direction for you. You can't live somebody else's life and they can't live yours. So make sure you take it and make the best of your life. Don't waste it on people that are not worthy of your time, your love, or your feelings. Because some people don't know how to give that back to you. Some people weren't taught or never received love in the proper way. We all have had our butts beat when we were younger, but most of us, I know I did. If I had to beat my son's tail for something he did wrong, I'm going to let him know why and still let him know that I love him. But I'm not going to allow my kid, I would have never allowed my son to do half the crazy things that this world is doing now. I even tell my son, if you got anything to talk about that you feel like you can't come to your mother for or somebody in your family, go seek a therapist. Because sometimes you just need to vent. You don't need anybody to give you the answers. Sometimes you need to vent. And our friends and family members and our spouses need to understand women don't always need you to give them the answer. Sometimes they just want you to listen. Listening is the greatest thing that a person can have from another person. The reason why is because that makes them take the time to listen to what you're saying, not taking the time to try to give you a synopsis of what you should be doing with your life. But they will listen. And then if you ask or require feedback, then they will allow you to do that. But some people don't want you to help them or answer their question or do the work for them. They want you to walk with them through their journey of working it out in their life. They want somebody there that's going to be an ear. Because sometimes, if you ever think about it, when you want somebody to sit and listen and you have them just listen and not respond, sometimes as you're doing that, you will come to the conclusion of what you need to say or hear in your head. And you was like, Dad, I didn't think of it that way. But because that's you never took the time to listen. See, sometimes I believe that when you hear those little whispers in your head or trying to remind you something or tell you something, I believe that's God trying to remind you. I really, really do. I think that's God whispering in your ear about what you forgot or what you need to understand. That's going on in your life. Excuse me. But we need to do some self-care. Like women, most of us like bubble baths. I take this as a self-care for me. I would run me a nice bubble bath, light me some candles, put on some music, turn off the lights, and relax in the tub. That's part of self-care. Because sometimes your body needs to just relax. Self-care also is making sure your mental is right, your physical is right, and your spirituality is right. I'm not saying you have to be a person that goes to church every Sunday or anything like that. All I'm saying is make sure you have a relationship with God, whichever way you try to do it. I haven't been to church in years, but I have a conversation with God every day. Because God didn't say I had to go into another building to praise him. God said you could stand right wherever you are and give him glory. So that's what I choose to do. Just like also meditation. I'm trying to get into that, but I just can't get to the point where I can shut my mind off. My mind runs too much. But that meditation, making sure you take care of your vision, make sure you take care of your hearing, make sure you're going to the doctors, make sure you're physically fit. Don't let nothing pass you by. Make sure you are on solid ground when it comes to what you want in your life and how you want to make sure that your whole entire being is being taken care of. So sometimes we have to self-motivate ourselves. Also, if somebody wants to motivate you as well, they have to know who they're speaking to and how to speak to that person. Because everyone is not always right, and everybody can't do the same thing that someone else did. But you can also take the time and figure out that, do I need this in my life? Do I need that in my life? What do I really need in my life that's going to make me comfortable, that's going to make me happy, that's going to let it show on the outside just as much as you feel it on the inside? Like, we have a lot going on in this world. So make sure you're watching out for you and your family. Keep and hug your children tight. Tell them that you love them. Show them that you love them. If it's your spouse and you haven't talked to them in a couple of days, or y'all had an argument, take a time at least, not even if y'all ain't speaking, let them know you love them. Because we never know when our time is up and when is our last day. So you make sure you give your family, your spouses, your children, whoever, give them some love from you and be genuine with it. Just don't say you love you, I love you, because anybody can say those words, but there has to be meaning behind it. Just like women like to go to the beauty salon, get their hair done, go to the spa, relax. That's self care. If you can't spend that money when you go out to do it, then don't spend it. Do those same exact things almost at home. You can find DIY, yeah, DIYs that show you simple little things you can do to unwind and relax. But make sure you stay focused. Don't let nobody knock you off your game. Don't let nobody undermine you. Don't let nobody tell you what your worth is, because some people will bring you down and dog you out and treat you bad. And then you'll be thinking sometimes in your head, well, what did I do? Like, what's wrong with me that they had to come at me sideways? Trust me, I promise you, it's not about you. It's about them. They're going through something in their life, their own personal life. So the thing that they do is they turn it around onto somebody else and bring the negativity to somebody else. But everybody don't want to deal with negative mess. Everybody does not want to deal with the negative mess. Most of us like to deal with peace and calm. Sometimes you have to find other places to find your peace if you can't find it at home. Like if you have a few kids, sometimes you have to take a walk in a park, or go sit in the park and have a conversation, or go sit and read a book, something. But you have to make sure you take some me time out if you have a family. Self-care and self-motivation is very, very important. Like we all get the blues. That's what I call them, the blues. We all get the blues sometimes. Some get it more than others. Those are the people that I add myself to that catalog with as far as suffering from anxiety or depression. Sometimes it's hard to focus. But when it's easy to focus, you can get so much done. So that's why make sure you take the time out for your self-care. Sit down, listen to some relaxing music, pray to God, work on your physical to keep your strength and endurance up, work on your mental, find something else that brings happiness and joy to your life. Find another hobby. We all need things to keep busy. And we all need things that excite us and make us happy. So you have to be strong-willed. And if you feel like your will is not that strong, take it to God first and ask Him to show you which way you need to go, because He will give you that answer. It might not be the answer that you want, but He will respond. And like I always say, be mindful what you ask God for. Don't just run to Him when you need something. Go to Him always. But again, make sure you are taking care of yourself. It's like if you got a husband and kids, if you don't take care of yourself, or if you're a single parent, you don't take care of yourself, you're going to end up probably getting sick, having issues. Then who will be there to take care of your children? Who will be there to take care of your mate? You have to allow yourself the grace and the selfishness sometimes to overtake everything else so you can get you head Get your head correct, your spirit and heart in the right place, and then move through life that way. Because if you're moving through life destructively, that's all you're ever going to see in your path is destruction. So with that being said, I'm going to end this live. For anyone that comes through the door during the replay, please hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. It's all here for free. I would appreciate if you would subscribe. And if you feel like sharing it, please do. So I will end this live there. I pray that you all have a blessed morning. Please drive safe. Before you walk out that door, please remember to tell your family members that you love them. Like I said, tomorrow's not always promised. So make sure you are putting in your work to make sure that they know that they were loved. I'm not putting anything bad or wishing anything bad on anyone, because I pray God keeps everybody safe and wakes everybody up the next morning. But some people we know will not. So you have to make sure you give them that love, grace, peace, and serenity. So with that being said, I wish you all a good night and a good morning and a more even beautiful afternoon. Mrs. Stu Queen be out.